What's up everybody? Hope you guys are having a good Friday. I'm excited to hop into episode 52 of the Road to NBA 2K21 series. Here in year 4, our Pelicans have had some ups and downs, but we've been victorious in 4 out of our last 6, climbing to 20-12 on the year. Currently sitting behind Utah, Portland, and our next opponent on the schedule, the Denver Nuggets, in the Western Conference standings as Jamal Murray with a breakout campaign. He's your NBA leader in points per game so far, with Anthony Davis and Damian Lillard just behind him. We're only about a month away from All-Star Weekend as New Orleans looks to continue with their solid play, and for me personally, I look to crack the All-Star game for the first time in my 4-year career. This season has undoubtedly been my best from a box score perspective, as if the season ended today, I'd be the NBA assist leader for the second straight year, and 17.5 points and almost 2 steals a night. Those would both be career highs. All of my hometown friends have made at least one All-Star trip. Deshaun's made 1, Faran's made 2, and Donnie's made 3 over their respective careers. But how cool would it be for not only for myself to join them, but for all of us to participate? But we're going to get into some simulating here as we're met with an injury message, not only 1 but 2. Kately's sidelined for about a week, and Glenn Robinson with a bruised right hip, he'll be day to day. But despite the injury drama, we do take 2 out of our next 3, and now a trade message for Josh Hart. But with the way he's been improving his game recently, I don't think we should trade him. 27-20 for myself in the blowout win against Denver as they were without Nikola Jokic. Hart had 17 in that game, but then we get blown out in the 4th quarter, choke the game against Houston. So 2-2 in simulating and looking at the All-Star race, gotta pace guys like Lillard, Harden, and Steph Curry. They're all over 2 million votes apiece. And so, just another day at the office for myself and my New Orleans Pelicans teammates as we travel out west to take on Faran and the Los Angeles Lakers, currently sitting at 20-15, good for 6 in the West. So they've been a little bit underwhelming so far here to begin next gen. And as you can see, Otto Porter making his first start on the Pelicans as Josh Hart moves to the 2. We're a little bit dinged up, still missing Glenn Robinson, and of course Ahron with that injury. He's going to be back for the next game though. Last time we played LA was 2 episodes ago, and it was a game-winning free throw for myself that was a difference maker. And immediately off the jump, here comes Otto Porter, backdoor lob for the unibrow. Otto Porter, his first starting position here in the Big Easy, he's already making an impact, and Faran coming the other way. He's going to be going up against Josh Hart this time with the injury to Kately, and a quick check-in on Faran as he hits the free throw line. 18.5 points a game would be a career high for him if the season ended today, along with his 2 steals, which is good for top 5 in the NBA. He's tied with LeBron for being the leading scorer on the Lakers as he hits 1 of 2 to put LA on the scoreboard. So now 5-4 Lakers as LeBron comes the other way and he puts it on Richaun Holmes' head. And LeBron only averaging around 18.5 a clip, so maybe Father Time catching up to him a little bit here in the video game, but quickly on the other end. Pull up J, great screen from Holmes. I'm quickly becoming one of the best mid-range shooters in the entire league. As Nicolo Melli checks in for the first time in 5 weeks, he's also been dealing with an injury, so the injury bug hitting New Orleans a little bit here as we reach the All-Star break, but immediately off of the LeBron missed free throw, Hart, he sinks a 3 quickly up the other end for my second assist. And as the teams go back and forth, Faran receives the entry pass from Lonzo, doing some good work in the post on Josh Hart. He scores another basket, Faran already up to 6 points. Coming the other way, running our offense now, tied up at 13 apiece. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, it's been a while since Melli's been out here, so let's get him a basket. He slips the pick and roll. That was a beautiful, crisp pass, feeding Melli down the lane. And one of our better bench players, that was one of the reasons why we kind of fell off a little bit there, lost a lot of games because our bench already isn't that good, and then without Melli became worse as here comes Anthony Davis down the lane, recording the N1 on Markieff Morris. And now he steps up to the line to sink his free throw, capping off a 3-point play for the unibrow. And as we begin the second quarter, up by 2, great defense inside between Hart and Porter. Not really missing a step on defense even without Kately as I try the lob, and that gets set back by Morris. LeBron the other end, and I've learned my lesson. I'm not jumping with LeBron. If you guys remember 2 episodes ago rather, I think I learned my lesson when it comes to jumping with LeBron James. But at least we won that game though. And that jam by LeBron sparking a little bit of a run here for the Lakers as he hits a circus shot on the very next possession. LeBron looking 10 years younger here in this game. 34-26 Lakers as we burn a timeout, and LeBron is feeling himself. It was pretty much all of Faran in the first quarter, but now here in the second, it is LeBron's time to shine as Porter, he's starting to play up with him though a little bit, pokes it loose, they still get it back, and Lonzo, I get a good enough contest to force the miss. And now on the other end, here we come back quick. Behind the back, spin move, hesitation, blow by on the baseline with a finger roll. And that nice series of moves gives me 6 points, cuts the lead down to 6, but I'm only shooting 3 of 9 from the field. So, just like always, the Lakers always giving me trouble. Lonzo and Faran, one of the best defensive backcourts in the entire association, as now Faran finds Kuzma, can't hit, and then he commits a foul on Otto Porter on the rebound. And just like that, that's whenever we check out. And the bench, not too bad. 44-38, not a lot of offense here in the first half. We're down by 6, and it's pretty funny when you look at the stat book. The teams are pretty much even in all categories, but it was the 15-5 run that Los Angeles opened up with in the second half, and that's really the difference right now. The Unibrow has 5 rebounds and 9 points, but only played 11 minutes due to 2 early fouls, but Nicolo Melli in his first game back from injury, he has his back. 6 points and 3 rebounds in 9 minutes. I also have 6 with 6 assists and a steal, but a measly 3 of 9 from the field as we talked about earlier. Josh Hart has had a productive day, 5 points with a tray ball, limiting to Faran to only 3 of 9 in the first half. My hometown friend has 6 points, 3 rebounds, and a steal, and LeBron has 13, 9 of those coming in the second quarter. The Lakers are averaging 104.9 points per game, that's 4th worst in the West. And it's really interesting just to see the Lakers take such a big step back on defense, as really throughout the entire series, they've been a very potent defensive team. LeBron James kicks off the second half with 2 missed free throws. He falls to 1 of 5 from the charity stripe here in the game. As I pull up on the other end, that's routine. Up to 8 points as I look to have a much more solid second half shooting than I did the first, as I improve to 4 of 10 from the field. Down by 5 as now they're running the post up to LeBron. I don't know how I switched on him, but a great trap. Josh Hart provided the help and he poked it loose from James. And as we come up the other end, I got Markieff Morris on me, just too slow to stop me. That leads Anthony Davis to the rim, but he blows the easy one over Faran. You gotta hit those, man. 45-40, Marc Gasol doing a little bit too much dribbling, and I just saw the last possession. Josh Hart got a cheap steal in the post. I try to get one as well, but Faran makes me pay for that one. I just try to emulate what Josh Hart did, but I get tagged for a 3-pointer. And of course, Faran, the hometown friend, gives Los Angeles their biggest lead of the night at 8, but on the other end, I manipulate that pick and roll to perfection as I'm switching hands on LeBron James. It's always scary when you go to the paint and try to challenge LeBron at the rim, but I do successfully there with some deception. A very gutsy take as I hit my first 2 attempts from the field in the second half, but it doesn't help us out that much as now we're down by 11 as we take it the other way. I go against Alex Caruso and I keep messing up the icon passes here in this game. I keep forgetting that Josh Hart's actually playing the 2, not the 3, but AD has my back. Chase down block on Caruso, and I make up for it with a slam. You don't see me pulling out the dunk too much. I mean, that was only a rim grazer, but it still counts for 2 points. And LeBron continues his struggles at the free throw line, only making 1 of 2 this time. Still down by 12, however, as I see AD cutting back door. Great job being the trailer and looking for that pass all the way through. He's up to 11. And that was only the Unibrow's first basket of the third quarter, as now some reserves check in. It's only me and Josh Hart from the starting 5 as Okafor slips and puts it down on top of Kyle Kuzma for a 3-point play. Okafor was really important off the bench for us this game. He had a big second half. Still down by 12, however, as now we see Avery Bradley, KCP running a little 2-man game as he tries to take a baseline. And he puts it through with the reverse on top of Josh Hart, and Hart is in disbelief as the lead swells to 14. We're in danger of letting this one slip away. Coming back in, the Lakers hit a 3, we hit a 2, so not much changed in the minute and some change that I was off the floor. But the bigger picture is we're down 15 with all of the bench guys out on the floor except for me, but popping is Luzada Silva. Check him out, pulling it in the face of Faran. Faran actually bid on my pump fake, leaving MLS wide open as we head into the fourth quarter. Faran trying to turn things around, he gets blocked by Richaun Holmes. If we're going to force a comeback, we're going to have to start now. And check out Otto Porter with the touch pass up to the brow. His playmaking has been really good. Otto Porter, despite struggling from the field today, he's continued with the solid playmaking and team ball that we're known for. But here in the fourth quarter, MLS trying to cover Faran. It was hard for him to keep up. Faran hits one there, running the same play on the same spot of the court. Faran again nets it. Back-to-back threes for the fifth-year man out of Arizona. On the next possession, I would convert an assist over to Richaun Holmes, but now running it on the left side. They won't stop exploiting this matchup. Faran with 9 quick points to begin the fourth quarter. He's been a little quiet today, but now he's starting to turn it on and aim for our jugular, as now it's Josh Hart. As I set a screen for him, he answers right back. Hart continuing to improve. By the time we hit the end of this episode, he will have improved his points per game tally from 8.5 to 10.5. And now here comes Otto Porter. He switches one as he's struggled a little bit today. But as we cut it between 11, maybe we still have a chance. But Faran and LeBron with big fourth quarters, just too much for us to overcome. 90-79 is your final as we begin episode 51 with a loss. Despite my 6 turnovers, as we had some chemistry issues welcoming Otto Porter to the starting 5, I think this was probably my best game in a long time, maybe ever, against the Lakers. As Porter, despite his good playmaking, only 3 points from that 3-ball near the end of the game. Faran with a huge fourth quarter to send us home packing. Him and LeBron, they're still a dynamic duo despite the Lakers' struggles to begin their next-gen journey. So as we head back to the schedule, we're going to have some more simulating to do before we play our next game against the Clippers. And with welcoming Kately, Nicolo Melli, and Glenn Robinson all back to the lineup, so we're at full strength. We win 6 out of our next 7. First against the Utah Jazz, the number 1 defense in the NBA. We hang 108 on them behind my 20 and 19. Then we head up to my hometown and play in the Garden. 114-100 is your final there. Love going back home and paying my respects. And moving right on, we have a rematch against the Utah Jazz here in simulating, and another double-digit win against them. Only 10 points, but a great team win for sure. 13 assists from me as we shut them down, holding them to 34% shooting that game. And finally, another West Coast opponent. We welcome Los Angeles to the Smoothie King Center, and they look dangerous as ever. They haven't been that competitive here in the series, but here on the next gen, they're a whole different squad. They've recently taken the top spot in the West, 30-13 right now, half a game up on Portland and Utah. And with our solid play, now we're 28-15, only 2 games out. Meanwhile, we still sport the second-ranked defense in the West, so a hot streak for New Orleans. We're just continuing to enjoy the ride. We welcome Los Angeles to our place, sporting the best home record in the NBA, 18-3 at the Smoothie King Center. As we look down and we see, of course, Faran's Lakers at 6 and Deshaun's inconsistent Mavericks at 7 in the West. Kawhi versus Anthony Davis. 2 DPOY winners here going to battle. Of course, with Anthony Davis, how good of a season he's had, that's exactly what we got to watch out for, seeing how Kawhi matches up against him, as immediately they go back and forth. Kawhi misses a fadeaway, and AD turns it into 3 points on the other direction. My first assist is a huge one as we put our best foot forward to begin this matchup against the NBA's top team. 3 apiece now as I drive, kick out. Hart, he will swish this one from the corner. A picture-perfect start for us against the West top dogs, trying to defend our best home record in the NBA. But Paul George will have something to say about that. Hopefully tonight we'll face Pandemic P and not Playoff P. I guess we're going to have to see. 8-6 here in the early goings as Kately, he mans the offense on the other direction. A little dribble handoff to myself. Good screen set by Holmes. And I have another opportunity to take it, this time on Serge Ibaka. Tough, acrobatic, and 1 for myself. There's my first basket here against the Clippers. And I would also knock down the free throw. 3 points, 2 early assists. So far looking pretty good as I knock down yet another one. A tough mid-range shot, but that one will drop as well. And New Orleans already with 17 points. We are looking dangerous on offense so far. 12-17, we have the advantage. Josh Hart receiving the screen, and now he takes it on Paul George and the tall Clippers defense. And as more time elapses, I'm getting happier and happier that we didn't end up moving Josh Hart before the trade deadline. The deadline's still coming up, so it's still a possibility, but with his increased level of play, I don't think it'll happen. So 27-19, New Orleans beginning the second half with a pretty comfortable lead. And as AD goes back door, we begin the next quarter with a firework. Great play, we love going to that one. Holmes, just such a big body, he frees up anybody who wants that screen from his. And now, here comes Kawhi Leonard as he starts to get it going a bit. Only 2 baskets for him up to this point, but that and one would drop. So the Clippers cut it between double digits, and AD immediately going right back at him. I'm lucky that pass didn't get picked off, but Kawhi went for the steal, leaving the lane wide open for the unibrow. So 5 points and 6 assists for myself. And check out this crisp pass from Josh Hart. If you want to rewind that, Kawhi Leonard was not expecting that. He wasn't even looking in the pass direction whenever Josh Hart whipped it in there. Continued great team play here has been the name of the game for the Pelicans, and are more wins than losses down the stretch here before the All-Star break. Now going into the post against Pat Bev, using my pivot foot and scoring under control. Another basket for myself, only missing 1 field goal so far in this game. Leading by 6 with 2 and some change left to go. Some subs take place for both teams, including Sweet Lou Williams as he checks in, and he banks that one, getting by me. And it's just so funny to me how I can go toe-to-toe against guys like Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Ben Simmons, and do well. But it's always those high IQ guys on the offensive end that seem to give me the most trouble, as Sweet Lou barely misses the step back 3. It's always guys like Williams or Seth Curry, or guys you just wouldn't expect that seem to give me the most problems, but I give some problems right back to Lou as I go behind the back and nobody's there to contest me at the rim. And that'll take us into the break. We have the advantage by 10, 56-46 as we talk it over in the locker room. So far so good against the Western Conference's top club. We're 60% from the field, along with 14 assists compared to the Clippers' 45% and only 2 team assists. I know LA is an isolation-oriented team, but that says something about the presence we've had on defense. And Anthony Davis, he's been giving Kawhi Leonard the business. 22 points leading all scorers. Meanwhile, Leonard, the 2-time DPOY winner, he paced the Clips team with 16 points. I have 11 and 7 as I closed out the second half with a spark to keep the lead above double digits. Otto Porter has 6 off the bench, Josh Hart with 5, but Caitley still scoreless, as Reggie Jackson's been giving him some issues. Now running some motion offense, some flex as I try to set the screen for Josh Hart. He's not open. Now Caitley sets an up screen for me. Pump fake gets Reggie Jackson out of position. He fell for it a little bit. He stopped moving his feet and I took advantage. He had another basket, falls for me up to a baker's dozen on the game for myself. And then on our next offensive possession, I would get fouled, only hitting 1 of 2. Check out PG-13 spinning for the catch and then spinning around Aaron Caitley with the floater. He had a huge third quarter as LA, not long after that impressive drive from Paul George, they would tie it up at 74 apiece with less than a minute remaining on the game clock here in the third quarter. So a double high screen, that corner defender on LA gets caught watching me, and he leaves Otto Porter wide open for a huge triple. 77-74. Otto Porter continues to be one of our go-to guys off the bench. That was a great trade for us. 4 seconds left, but Paul George, despite the broken play, with no shot clock left, he just decides to pull it, and he ties it back up, and I tried to answer it back, almost making the half-court bomb. I had one last episode. But after Los Angeles storms back on a 36-23 run there in the third, make that 39-23. As Reggie Jackson, he hits a big bomb, 82-79. It's a brand new ball game after being in control for pretty much the entire game. I'm up to 14 points and 8 assists. I get trapped there, but Luzada Silva strokes it. He's one guy who's been a little bit underwhelming here on the next gen, but a huge shot there. Now I'm in double figures with my points and my assist tallies. And I try to pick up a cheap steal there on Serge Ibaka. That is my 4th foul of the game. But on the bright side, it does leave stoppage of clock so the starters can check back in as Pat Bev goes at me. He continues to struggle. I force him to another miss. Here comes Caitley with the outlet pass. I'm bringing it up the right side as I still have Bev on me, and I take him to the rack. Tough finish, up to 18 and 10, along with 2 steals and 3 rebounds as we take the lead right back, and it wouldn't take long for Lou Will to check right back in. Looks like the Clippers want to go with offense rather than defense as he checks in for Beverly, and now I take the one-on-one on him, get him with a snatchback, finishing with the finger roll. That was by far one of my favorite takes to the rim here on the next gen. A little snatchback, his shoulders are turned, and whenever that happens to the defense, then they can say goodnight. So another finish, up to 18 and 10 now. Lou Williams tries to take it the other way, and take a look at that move. He faked like he was going to pick up his dribble and then just drove baseline. Me and Lou Williams going back and forth here down the stretch. Game clock about to hit 4 minutes left, still down by 1. We tried that backdoor screen that freed up AD earlier for the lob, but Holmes can't get open, however. AD and we run the secondary option, which is a pick and roll, and off balance with the scoop layup. Yet another finish drops. 20 points for me on the game as I'm trying to help close out the Clippers. Doing a pretty damn good job at it too, as Kawhi tries to feed Lou Williams on the other end, and I commit. The golden rule of playing defense in basketball. I break it, actually, as I foul Lou Williams. You never foul a jump shooter, especially a three-point jump shooter, but AD, my good teammate for 4 years now, he helps console me as I'm helpless, as all I can do is watch Lou Williams step up, cold-blooded, and knock down all three. And that was a huge swing. The entire complexion of this game turned upside down, trailing by 2 now with 3 minutes left to go. A little pop-out screen for AD, and the facilitating from the team continues. A little big man to big man connection for the three-point play. Over and over again, I think my playmaking has really started to become contagious for the rest of the team. Great pass from the brow, leading Richaun Holmes to the paint, and Holmes with the three-point play completely nullifies those 3 free throws from Lou Williams. 96-95, another pop-out screen well short from AD, but Richaun Holmes isn't missing that putback. He has our back once again. 9 points and 7 rebounds from the serviceable big fella, and now we find ourselves with a 3-point advantage. 5 seconds left to go. Kawhi, 3 seconds. He's actually going to pull it for the tie. Bang! Kawhi Leonard. He has done it. What a shot, but he's still on the floor. So we're running it back the other way quick. AD between the legs. Attacks Ibaka, draws the foul. But what a shot this was. Look at Kawhi falling down in the face. 1 second left to go on the clock, and it's nothing but net. What a three-pointer from Kawhi, but I noticed he was on the ground, so I wanted to take advantage. AD back up the other way. Ibaka just out of position, and with 2 free throws, huge ones down the stretch, AD could push this lead and listen to the crowd. With the Smoothie King center, all serenading MVP chants, the brow hits 2 of 2. As Paul George, he tries to take the lead. That one just rims out. My heart skipped a beat when I saw that one go around the world and just bounce out of the cylinder. 16 seconds left, a little handoff for Catley as we're running the offense. Catley, he's looking for Hart. This will be the dagger. He pulls it from way outside, and that one, just like Paul George's 3, barely rims out, and I almost recorded the steal on the outlet pass. But Lou Williams, he recovers. Paul George, once again, from the outside, he gets another screen. He tries it again. That one had a good chance of falling once again, but we catch yet another break. 100-98, 38 seconds left. Josh Hart, this time with a finger roll finish. We put the keys of the offense in the hands of Hart there, and he makes that layup, giving him points 8 and 9 on the ball game. Paul George has missed his last 2 attempts from the field, trying to keep the Clippers into it. He tries another one, and the third one is unsuccessful again. George throwing the game away. The ball sails out of bounds, and up by 4. We got to get this inbound in and knock down some free throws. 21 ticks left as immediately Holmes throws it in, and right to the hands of Lewis Williams. What a choke. And if we're talking about it from a 2K perspective, that was Holmes' fault. I didn't call for that one. He just threw it in. But in the eyes of real basketball, that was my fault, not coming back to the pass. As Kawhi, they get the quick 3 that they need. Finally, they knock one down. 102-101, brand new ball game. As struggling to get it in, finally Hart gets it into Catley and over to me. We had 2 timeouts there, so we could have burned one if we had another, more struggles getting it in. But we do. So with 9 seconds left, I've made some big free throws this season to secure some huge wins, and the first one is a green light up to 21 points. 103-101. This is the big one to push to 3. This is to guarantee that the Clippers cannot win it here in OT, barring a 4-point play, and I do knock it down. Here we go. Clippers, Kawhi for the tie! Just off the mark, and I do draw the foul. Knock down some more free throws. 106-101 is your final, and I end the game with 24 and 10. 50% from the floor. Another game with too many turnovers, but I think I'll take it. Just another good solid night, and AD Serenading some MVP chants was this crowd for him. 31 and 14 for the Brow, and how about Luzada Silva coming off the bench with 17, as he had 11 of those in the second half. Rashawn Holmes with 9 and 9, Hart with some big shots down the stretch, just another great team win. Kately, he was scoreless, but he did hold his own against Reggie Jackson. So hopping back into more simulating, as the All-Star game is just a couple weeks over the horizon. Some more simulating as we take down Memphis in another nail-biting win, 20 apiece for me and AD, along with 14 rebounds for myself. Take down the Spurs, then we lose back-to-back games at home. So despite our great home record, we drop 2 in a row to Denver and then Boston, get back in the win column, surviving Colin Sexton's 20 points against Cleveland, and that'll put us just a half game back of the Clippers for the second spot and a full game back of Donovan's Portland Trail Blazers. And we see the Lakers improving to 5th in the West as they start to turn it around, and then Dallas, they improve to 7. So right now, our last game before the All-Star game selection, we face the Milwaukee Bucks. 35 and 19, as you can see, they have the second best defense in the East. We have the second best in the West, so a battle of 2 of the top 4 defenses in the NBA. Despite losing back-to-back games at home, we still sport a 21 and 5 record here at the Smoothie King Center. A nice little handoff as I fake the backdoor, pop back up as AD hands it off to me, and another assist for the team to kick us off, but it would be all Milwaukee here in the first quarter. Now 14-6 as Chris Middleton, just last year a few points off of being the first 50, 40, 90 guy in a couple years in the NBA. He makes a 3 there, 16-10 ball game, but kicking this one out to Josh Hart in the corner. A beautiful assist there. Let's take another look at that one. A little touch pass as I got it to Hart, continuing to improve on his game. And the Pelicans, I've talked about the playmaking in this episode a lot. Number 3 in the NBA in assists per game as a team. 27.5 assists per night for your New Orleans Pelicans. Now a little mismatch as I blow by Bobby Portis with a floater to cap it off over my matchup tonight, Dante DiVincenzo. And there's my third field goal of the night. Beginning the second quarter, 13 points in debt were the New Orleans Pelicans. We started to make a little bit of a run, but Danilo Gallinari, who finds his way onto the Bucks, he hits a 3, extending it back to 9, but bobbing and weaving my way through the Milwaukee defense. Another impressive drive here in episode 51. A crossover on DiVincenzo, who is a pretty good defender, then a hop step around him as he tried to recover, shielding off Brook Lopez as well from behind, who's actually second in the NBA in blocks per game just behind AD. Now Middleton left him open a little bit. I should have switched the matchup there, but we got lucky. 36-26 as we go the other way. Now Brook Lopez, another mismatch as I want to take him. Quick isolation, behind the back, going right, little step back, and he falls all the way to the baseline. Perfect release on the 3-pointer. Take a look at this one. Oh my goodness, an ankle-breaking move. Probably my favorite out of my 4 years in the NBA, and I've had a few. Lopez completely lost as I let it fly, and despite only shooting 28% from the 3-point line, I guess that was just fate to hit it there. What a highlight there. Brook Lopez looking silly as I let it fly, and nothing but nets, man. Not much more I can say about that one. That will be a play to remember as I go with the step back move there on DiVincenzo. Not as much success. I didn't make him fall all the way to the baseline, but I still get some space, keep him on my back hip, and I have another 2 points. But I guess those ankle breaking plays, they gave us a bit of a spark because we do actually end up taking the lead at the half. It's been a tale of 2 quarters so far. Milwaukee outscored us 28-18 in the first, then New Orleans responded with a 25-14 quarter of their own, only holding the Bucks to 6 of 16 from the floor and forcing them into 5 turnovers. As always, our stout defense gets us back in the game, but the offense has still been a bit of a concern. We have made 8 free throws as a team, though. We've forced a Greek Freak into 3 fouls. That'll be something to definitely keep in mind going forward. But we got to capitalize on what they give us as we try to do that here. A little screen, slipping in a pass, and there's an and one for AD. As AD was only 4 of 10 in the first half. There's his 5th field goal as he actually makes a free throw. And Giannis, he tied AD with 13. We both had a baker's dozen in the first half. The top scorers for both sides. Now I drive the lane as Milwaukee continues to struggle, taking away my drive as I throw a pass over the shoulder to Josh Hart at the elbow. He makes another one. Kately once again has been scoreless in 4 attempts. This offense hasn't been pretty as now I throw it away, but I do get it back. I don't give up on the play, and it'll be a scoop and score for myself, up to 15 points. But we've done enough on offense to hold over the East's best team, as now AD on the next possession, he steals it away from Lopez, who's having a tough day at the office, including getting lobbed on. A 360 for the brow. Another assist for me, as we are starting to pull away here in the third, and coming out in the fourth. 70-58 is your score. And that was a super dominant defensive quarter, holding the Bucks to 6 of 20 shooting, plus getting Giannis into 2 more personal fouls, so he's going to be playing with 5 as we kick off the fourth. But Milwaukee's bench giving them a bit of a spark without Greek Freak on the floor. Now Middleton hits a baby jumper, and they've pulled within 4. 7:18 left to go as Milwaukee forces another stop. Vincenzo and I go one-on-one, and I force him into a stop. I go toe-to-toe there, and I hold my own. Josh Hart, excuse me, that's actually Ahron who finally gets on the board. A big shot there for my college teammate who's been scoreless thus far, but he extends the lead. Now back to 4 after DiVincenzo hits a 3 with the equalizer. So, coming off the screen, we have Josh Hart, who's had a really good game thus far. He pulls it, and he nets it. Huge shot for Josh Hart. He had 13 before that, now up to 16, as he improves to 6 of 9 from the floor, but Giannis not making it easy for us. He checks back in and immediately is causing problems. 79-77, a defensive grudge match right here with 2 minutes left to go. Caitley helming the offense as I pop off. I'm wide open. Vincenzo, too late as I hit another 3, my second of the ball game. 18 points, 13 assists. I'm doing everything I can to keep Milwaukee at bay. Now trimming this down to less than a minute to go. Still up by a possession. 81-84 is your score. Little hook screen for Caitley not open, so I bring it back to the right. Now Holmes sets a good screen. Fading away over Gallinari, and I hit it. 86-81. I've gotten a lot of scrutiny over my career not being able to close out games, but in a big game like this, that'll be a way to swing those tides a little bit. But Giannis continues to hit 2 after 2, and now can we get in the inbound this time? Yes, we do. And Milwaukee, surprisingly, with the shot clock still on, they do start to foul. So, stepping to the line, it's been a crazy fourth quarter thus far, and I would miss the first one. 86%, slightly early timing, still can't knock it down. But over my entire career, or even in the last few episodes, I've had a lot of chances at the line to end games, so I gotta do it here too, right? That one rims in, thank goodness. We really needed that one. So 87-85 after Giannis once again hits another 2-pointer quickly. 21 seconds left. Ahron shooting in the mid 80%, 85 actually for the year, and he misses his first attempt, and he is in disbelief. Look at him. My former college teammate, he struggled these last 2 games, stepping up to the line for one more. This is to cut it or extend it to 3, and that one rims out as well. Here comes Giannis and the Milwaukee charge up the other way. The Bucks with no more timeouts. It'll be 2 to tie, 3 to win. No more shot clock. 10 seconds left. Are they going for the lead? They don't want to post up with Giannis. 6 seconds left, and Middleton's wide open for the win. Oh, he just misses. What happened there on the final possession? Josh Hart. I know you guys are asking the question, hey, CSR, you like breaking down basketball, you like describing plays. What happened there? I don't have an answer for you. I really don't. I don't know what Josh Hart was doing, but we scraped by with another victory here in the final moments of a ball game. 25 and 14 for AD. Only 10 of 23 from the floor. Him and Giannis were going back and forth all game. They held their own on defense, both sides covering the other guy. 21 and 13, a huge closeout effort for myself. Although if Caitley and I, we just hit our free throws, we wouldn't have to worry about that last possession. But at the end of the day, we do get it done. I cut down my free throws. I trimmed them in half from 6 to 3 from the last game. And Josh Hart, a clean 20 points. He was huge tonight despite his almost choking of the game on the last possession. So, with our recent stellar play, we've climbed the rankings of the Western Conference, now number 2. And in the next episode, you see here the All-Star Draft just the next day here on the schedule. But we're going to find out next time. Did I break in to my first All-Star appearance in my career? 17.5 points, 12.5 assists, 1.5 steals. Was that enough for me to break in for my first All-Star selection of my career? Hope you guys enjoyed this very fun episode to make. 2 really close games that could have went either way. Hope you guys had a lot of fun coming by the channel today. Thanks for spending some time here, and as always, stay tuned everybody. This is CSR signing out.